Greetings. Coming back from a long day's work. I just went to the local feeding trough, aka the grocery store, and what a madhouse it was in there. It was very stressful for me. I had to put on my music, my calming soundscapes, my new wave soundscapes to put my mind at ease. And once I did, I found to be more acclimated to the bustling environment. Anyway, dearest friends, I wanted to regale you with a very short tale that happened to me while I was in line for the grocery store. I had a rather large shopping cart full of groceries at this time, and normally I just walk around there with my little shopping basket, and I fill it, and then I go to the little robot self-serve. But this time, friends, I had a big feeding trough of groceries. I found many good deals in there. I'm sorry for the glare, dear friends. Here I am. Don't worry. You see the blinding light. Yes, well, maybe, I suppose you'll just have to hear my booming baritone voice. Anyway, dear ones, I was in line, and there was a girl in front of me in line, and I thought oh no, this person's trying to take a left. My worst fears have been confirmed. Okay, he scooted ahead. Oh no, there's so much problems here. Oh, goodness. Oh, fuck all of these people. Like they say in Tasmania, fuck them all. And people here, they drive so crazily. They think just because it's the end of the day and they got done with their working day, they gives them an excuse to drive like a lunatic. Well, I refute that claim vigorously, and with much power I would refute that. Anyway, dear ones, I was in line, and she was a young girl. She was probably in her early to mid-20s, although she was Asian, so she probably could have been up to 50 years old, because it's all the rice they eat, or maybe all the years their ancestors wear those big silly hats to protect the sun. I don't know. Maybe they have elastic skin. I don't know what it is, but anyway, I would surmise that she was probably anywhere from 20 to 50 years old. I guess it's hard to say. But I found her to be kind of attractive. Her bottom was a little bit flat, but that's okay. Nobody's perfect. But her face was very symmetrical, and her beauty was it surpassed all expectations that I had when I went into the grocery. I didn't think I'd see well, I don't know. Sometimes I see beautiful women there and about, but I took my music out because I wanted to talk to this young lass who was so fair. And I took stock of what she had in her cart. Because, when you put the food on the little grocery thing, the little conveyor belt of sorts, I was looking through everything, and I didn't quite know what to say, but I've been watching videos about how to pick up women, and it doesn't come very natural to me, I know. Very confusing, very, very puzzling indeed. Me being such a well-spoken and very strong, strapping young buck. You'd think I could talk to women like it was breaking sticks, but even men like myself have trouble sometimes, dear ones. So I was watching some videos about indirect day game, and what I opted to do was, because I used to do direct day game, and I would just say, sometimes I'd go mode 1, and I'd be, oh yes, I find you very enticing to my senses, and I'd love to have a passionate romantic love affair with you. And many times it worked, but many times it did not. And the times it did not, it was abysmal, abject failure and humiliation. And I guess I'm not today a strong enough a state of mind right now. My senses have been a little bit disoriented. I haven't been feeling myself quite as of yet, and I wasn't willing to face such a calamity, shall we say. So I opted for a safer, indirect approach, and I noticed that she had some food, some breakfast cereals, and I said, "Excuse me, mademoiselle," and I use that term very strategically because it shows a cultural sophistication, of course, which women simply adore. So I said, "Excuse me, mademoiselle," and I said it just like that, so there was no mistaking of my power and my intention. And she looked at me as like a doe-eyed deer in the headlights, like she was startled. And I said, you needn't be afraid. It is I, Jacrowls, the lugubrious one in your midst." And she looked rather puzzled by that. And so I said, "I've noticed that you have some breakfast cereal there. Pray tell what kind it is. I don't recognize that brand." And she said, "Oh, these are Honey Bunches of Oats." And I said, "Oh, very good. I used to have those in my youth. I used to enjoy them very much with my Eggo waffles and maple syrup. But then I started being an older man, and I haven't had them. I think they're a little bit juvenile, personally, which I probably shouldn't have said, but I just, sometimes it's best to just go with whatever the hell comes out of your mouth, may it be good or bad. It's more about the energy, or so these day game gurus say. It's about your energy. So I was standing there very strong and powerful with my feet planted firmly on the ground. And I said, and I was saying this preamble, and she said, she didn't quite know how to respond. I think she was very taken aback that I chose to speak to her. It's not every day that someone as powerful and handsome as me speaks to a young lady like herself, probably, especially now in this crazy digital world of everybody sending dick pics online and all that. So anyway, I continued and I said, I eat mostly oatmeal now because I find the carbs and the simple carbohydrates to be more palatable to me. And she just kind of, she wasn't contributing to the conversation. She was just looking at me, and she looked very confused and perhaps even frightened. So I said, I almost went for it, dear ones, but I don't want to get a ticket. I've never had a moving violation in my life. I don't plan to start now. But I said, "Can I give you a nutritional tip, dear one?" And she said, she kind of said it like this. She said, "Okay." And she looked rather like she was being coy, like she was playing hard to get. So even though she was probably clearly interested in me. And I said, if you're going to eat more junk food cereal, I recommend the Count Chocula. It's very tasty, and actually the chocolate contains theobromine, which is a very powerful, I drew a blank on the word, but it's a good chemical, and it makes you very happy, and it's a sexual enhancing chemical. And she was like, and she didn't even respond. She was, oh, come on. What the fuck? Sometimes when I'm frustrated, I become a foul-mouthed, ill-tempered, and I break from my powerful presentation. But anyway, I was talking to her about the benefits of Count Chocula, and I said, well, I see that you're getting ready to pay for your groceries, and I very much enjoyed our conversation together, and I would very much like to have more, perhaps at a moonlit dinner. with champagne and delicacies of all kinds. And I said, now let me, and this is called assuming the sale, friends. It's what you're supposed to do. I said, I just took out my phone. I said, put your number in my phone. I didn't ask her. I simply gave her my phone, and I said, put your number in there, dear one. So she gave me her phone number, of course. So I'm very excited by that. And I will be talking to her, and we'll probably be getting hot and heavy this evening. So anyway, friends, I just wanted to share that with you, and just a motivation and encouragement of sorts to shoot your shot with these beautiful Asian women, and women of all kinds. They're very enchanting creatures. The fairer sex is I love them so much, dear ones. So that's all I really have to say here as I'm pulling into my place of residence. I got very many groceries, and I'm going to enjoy a very good steak this evening after a very good workout of getting completely jacked. So anyway, goodbye, friends, and adieu.